Hello my Beatles friends, welcome to another video. Today we're continuing with my new line of videos, which is press review. And since it's the second part, we're going to talk about today with the Beatles album. And we have 6 copies and we will look at each and every one of them, front, back cover. We'll look at the label. And later I will discuss the sound of it. Okay, so first of all, let's see what we have. We have first pressing mono. We have exactly the same copy, first pressing mono. So these two will be considered as one. So I will be showing you 5 differences. Then we have first pressing stereo from UK. Then we have 2 first pressings from Germany. And we have the latest one from Czechoslovakia, the country that does not exist anymore. So, these are the 6 copies and I will be discussing only 5 of them. And right now I'm going to switch to a mode of the GoPro camera. And then I will come back here and we will discuss the sound. Okay, so we start from the first mono pressing that I have. This is the front. Now, the first feature that you have to notice here is that the colors here are very dark. So we can barely see the dark side of the face, as you can see it here, and we almost do not see their clothes. So that's the first feature. Then you have to notice the logo of Parlophone, and the font of the mono here is very thick. Then on the back side, and first of all, this is the laminated, only the front cover is laminated. We flip the sleeve and we see here that it's printed and made by Gardner Lofthouse, patents pending. Then we have here the catalog number, we have here the production credits, and we have here the song listing. And here we have the song You Really Got a Hold on Me. It's spelled as Gotta, not Got A. So this is the first feature, how you identify that it's a first pressing mono sleeve. Let's look at the vinyl. This comes naturally in an inner sleeve. This is the label of side 2. Now if we look closer, we can notice here that the song Gotta is also written as Gotta, not Got A, and the song Money is credited to Joe Beatty, which is wrong. But what you have to notice is that the song You Really Got a Hold on Me is credited to Dominion. This is very important because we're going to discuss it later. The Dominion is the right credit, but I will come back to it later. So this is that's how the mono first pressing looks like. British stereo pressing. The difference between the British stereo pressing is not so big. It has here only stereo here written. And if we look at the back, on the rear cover, we can see here the catalog number which corresponds to the stereo. It has here printed in Gardner Lofthouse, patents pending. And here we can see the Really Gotta Hold on Me still keeps the problem with Gotta, the mistake with Gotta. So that's the only difference. Now, let's look at the label and discuss the label on side 2. Well, I mentioned earlier that You Really Gotta Hold on Me keeps the problem with Gotta. And then we have the Money song credited to Joe Beatty. But the mono pressing of the song You Really Gotta Hold on Me was credited to Dominion. But here we can see Domion, which means that 2 letters are missing from here. So this is the identifier that you have the first stereo pressing. If you have the stereo pressing and it says here Dominion, as it should be, then it means that you have a second pressing of the stereo. That's very important. Well, I'm not mentioning those obvious things like a text code here, KT, and in 1963 we still didn't have the sold in UK text. The sold in UK text appears only in 64. Okay, so that was the British stereo. Here we come to the second mono. It's the exact copy of the first one that I showed, so there is no point for me to open it and take it out. Only I have to mention that this one is in a better condition. So here we come to first German pressing. We take out the sleeve, and what we notice on the sleeve, first of all, we notice that the sleeve is in a thick cardboard, very, very strong and thick paper. Laminated on both sides. It's not flimsy at all, it's very, very thick and solid. Here you have the green line on top, the same picture, but the writing with the Beatles is very big on the opposite side, on the right side, and the Beatles is written on the picture, on Paul McCartney's head. Here we have the logo of Odeon, and here we have the serial numbers. On the back side, we also have here, top right corner, the serial number. Here we have the credits of the publishing company, and here we have the song listing. And we know that the song, we see that song Gotha is still spelled as Gotha. So that's how it looks like, the first German pressing of 1963. Naturally, all Germans coming with this inner sleeve, with the commercials of other albums. And we look at the label. The label is Green Odeon. It has two right societies, BM and Gemma. It says here made in Germany. Here we see the catalog number. And all the text is in German. Only the name of the songs are in English. If we look at the side 2, we can see here that the song Gotha is spelled as Gotha. So this is the first 1963 German pressing, and it's also mono. Okay, so this is also German mono. It's very heavy and very strong vinyl in a very, very good quality. We'll talk about the sounding later. So now we go to a second German, which is stereo. This is stereo. The cover is exactly the same. The only difference is that the catalog number is changed. It's a different catalog number, and the paper is very thin, flimsy paper. On the back, the rear cover is absolutely different. Here we have the catalog number, and here we have its stereo and mono playable. Also, we have here the credits of the publisher, and here we have the commercials of other German vinyls by Beatles, and here we see Sgt. Pepper. So this vinyl is pressed not earlier than 67, and it is 1967 pressing, and it keeps the mistake with Gotha. So this is the German second pressing, and we look at the vinyl. So this is the inner sleeve that comes with the vinyl, and now we look at the label. The label is white Odeon. It has only Gemma here. Here we have the catalog number and the text in German, and it says made in Germany. If we flip the vinyl, we can see that You Really Got a Hold on Me still keeps the mistake Gotha. And now we talk about the most interesting pressing, which is pressing from Czechoslovakia. It's a country that does not exist anymore. We have two countries, which is Czech Republic and Slovakia. But we don't have Czechoslovakia anymore. So it keeps the same pattern as the British pressing. It has the Parlophone logo here with the Beatles written here, but instead of stereo or mono in the top right corner, we have the logo of EMI and the logo of Czechoslovakian company Supraphon. The colors on the cover are lighter. You can see the cloths here and you can see the face. The back cover looks pretty much as the British one. Here we have the credit of the publisher, and then we know that it's from 1987. And here is the song listing, and we can see here that the song "You Really Got a Hold on Me" is corrected. Got a hold on me. So that's the first pressing that I have with the right name of the song. Let's look inside and go to the labels. That's the vinyl, which is a little bit flimsy, very, very thin. But anyway, so we have here text in Czech, EMI and Supraphone. We have here the price, 80 crowns, which is very cheap today. The Right Society, BEIM, made in Czechoslovakia, and the text is in Czech. And what's interesting is that the names of the songs are in English and in brackets in Czech. It's not the credits, it's the name of the song in Czech. And if we flip the vinyl, we can see here that it's a stereo, and we can see here that it's You Really Got a Hold on Me. And the songs are numbered not 1, 2, it's continuous like 8, 9. On each side the songs are numbered from 1 to 7, but here is from 1 to 14. Okay, so this pretty much the labels of the pressings that I do have. And now I'm switching back to a normal mode, and we discuss how they sound.
Okay, so we know the differences and we know how to identify which copy. Let's talk about the sound. I've listened to all the albums one after another, and once again, like I said yesterday in the previous video, I do not touch my stereo. It's in a full volume, it's in the subwoofer, it's also full volume too, so I hear the bass. And I never touch it. I listened to 5 albums, and I will just share with you my first initial reaction as I heard all the 7 songs. I mean, I was listening each album only 7 songs, because there's no point listening to the whole 14 songs. Okay, so what can I say? Talking about UK mono pressing, it was very loud. In comparison to all the others, it was the loudest. The sound is very clean and very high frequencies. You can hear it clearly. And on the mono pressing, the sound is centered. You can hear the vocals from the center, and you can hear the instruments. It's the loudest. The voice is on the front, and the instruments are a little bit in the back. The both versions are the same, so I'm going to talk about UK mono as a 1. My 2 copies is 1. So in comparing to the others, it was the loudest, but the bass and subwoofer is a little bit weak. I wanted to raise my subwoofer again, I mean the volume of subwoofer, the bass, but it was on the maximum, so I struggled to hear it. But the high frequencies are there. You can hear everything very loud, and it was very, very loud. I had to lower the voice of the stereo, but the voice in the center, everything's great. So I give it 10 out of 10. Sounds clean, sounds wonderful. UK stereo is a little bit quieter than the mono. The high frequencies are a little bit subdued. The voice coming mainly from the right. But what I was surprised to hear, that subwoofer helped. I heard the bass, I heard the drums, I heard the instruments as I hear the voice. So that was very good, surprising. I give it 9 out of 10 just because of the voice is a little bit lighter. I listen to all my speakers and I hear the voice coming not from the center. Okay, talking about German, the first one. German, the first one that I showed, 1963, is mono, don't forget. Centered voice and very loud, solid, loud, high frequencies are there, but once again, I struggle to hear the bass. I mean, you don't hear the bass and the drums and the instruments just like you hear the voice. So I give it 9 out of 10. German number 2, I have to say that it's the worst sound that I heard, the white Odeon. I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong, but don't be mad at me, but white Odeon labels I don't like. They are weaker. So the voice is on the right, very right, very difficult to hear the bass, and high frequencies are a little bit muted, subdued. So it's not that loud as it was the stereo or the mono of UK. So it's very, very quiet one. So I had to raise the voice of the speakers to hear it as loud as the others. So I give it 6 out of 10. And Czechoslovakian, it's stereo. The voice coming from the center a little bit in the right. Low frequencies are a little bit cut, so you don't hear the bass. I mean, once again, I always struggle to hear the instruments. They have to be more up front because they're in the back in the background. But overall, it's very loud, very nice, very clean sound. The problem is that the vinyl itself is a little bit flimsy. It's very, very easy to bend it. But nevertheless, sounds wonderful, and the voice is very loud, high frequencies are there, and the voice, like I said, is coming from center a little bit right, but it's not so important. So I give it 7, between 8 out of 10. So I would say that UK pressing really, really made me happy because I'm a fan of UK pressings. A German 1963 first pressing mono made me very happy. It's one of the greatest. But the second one disappointed me. Now, there is one more thing that I have to mention. Yesterday, I used the Please Please Me from a German box which came out in 1978. Now, the With the Beatles album also appears in that box, naturally, and the version that it is in the box has, once again, the same cover exactly, but none of these two is from that box. Now, how do you identify that this cover actually is coming from the box or this cover is coming not from the box? If you look the same cover, I mean exactly the same cover, you can see here the catalog number as I showed you already. The one catalog number starts with O and the other one starts with STO. That means that they are not coming from the box. All the German vinyls that are coming from the box, from 1978, the blue box, they start with 1C, 07 and then N. So if you don't have 1C072 in the beginning, that means that it is not from the box. Let me show you the box itself. This is the empty box that I have, and the catalog number appears here. It starts with 1C and so on. So all the vinyls which are inside this box, they have a catalog number 1C. So it's not enough to have the similar cover. It's also important the catalog number that you see here. Okay, so that's very important to mention. All right, so that was the review of my With the Beatles albums versions. Like I said, UK pressings are on the first place, UK mono and then stereo, German mono, Czech pressing, and the German second one on the white Odeon disappointed me. So thank you very much for by the way, I wanted to make this video in the end of this week, but I found out that this week, weekend, I will be very busy, so I don't think that I will have some time to do it. Because yesterday I got some good reviews from my first video about Please Please Me, so I decided to make them faster. This weekend I will be busy, so a Hard Day's Night coming maybe Saturday evening. I don't know, I'm not sure, because Sunday I'll be busy, but or maybe beginning next week. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm waiting for your responses. And tell me what you think about the With the Beatles album, and which pressing do you have and which one you like the most. Bye.